from their victorious mid laner. And Riv.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Fly High as they did just that over Echo Fox for a victory, a much-needed victory coming towards the end of the split. I have to ask you, expectations were high as FlyQuest came in and they started just pummeling people at the start of the split, but then things started to slide. How did you kind of right those expectations and stop the slide from happening here at the end?
Well, I don't know if we stopped it yet. We've lost like the last 5 weeks. So if we win tomorrow, then I can say we stopped it, but we were in a pretty big rut for a while. Like the team just wasn't working well. We weren't getting good practice. And you know, like when you're in a hole, it takes a while to get out of, especially if you keep losing. The hole just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're still working on getting out of that hole, so.
Well, we've seen you under a lot of pressure before, taking a team all the way through a gauntlet. This season, trying to kind of climb a team all the way through. I have to ask you kind of what is more pressure in that sense? Knowing you kind of got to get to playoffs and then through, or was it less pressure going in through with Cloud9 and kind of just having fun with it?
Well, for the gauntlet thing, I was a jungler, so I didn't have too high of expectations for that. It's not like I prided myself in being like one of the best junglers in NA, because I didn't. I barely played the role. But for like mid lane, I pride myself in thinking I'm at least in the top half, you know? So I need to prove to myself that I'm still a good mid laner, where back then I didn't have to prove anything. So the pressure now is definitely higher, and I have new teammates that some of them haven't been to like playoff finals or anything like that. And it'd be nice if we can get there, so.
Well, you have one more win to make that happen. It's over TL. Is that going to be your playoff match? Will you be able to take down Team Liquid?
Well, I would hope so. It's always a good time when we beat Double Lift, but it's been a while since I've beaten him, I think. So let's hope we can take him down.
All right, Hi. Thank you very much for the interview. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck as you guys continue towards the playoffs. We're going to throw it to the analyst desk to break down that game.
Thank you very much, Riv. With that 2-0 here for FlyQuest, High and the rest of the squad are in control of their own destiny moving forward. Kobe, as Riv mentioned,
power to the people.
If they do beat Team Liquid tomorrow, then they will clinch their playoff spot. Of course, seeding and all that will left to be decided, and we'll get into that more as the weekend progresses. Let's talk about this second victory here for FlyQuest just real briefly. This one a little bit more dominant than the first, but the Singe in the top lane, going back to that, looking for a little bit out of the top, and we saw the focus up there to no avail.
Yeah, I mean, this was a pretty clear case. They had Acadian on the rain guard, camping top side. You know, Looper was already pushing balls in on the Singe, and I do like how they were trying to capitalize off this. There's a couple good plays where Looper uses his pressure, then also, you know, mirrors down bottom lane and, you know, covers for a lot of scenarios. However, Moon, you know, he's ganking mid to take pressure off of High, and then he's also ganking and burning summoner spells on the bottom side, where they're also able to you know, capitalize on, and that, you know, sets them up for some good mid-game team fighting where they're not actually behind this time around. Altuk actually has a lot of minions as well as some kills.
Right, so let's look at the breaking point. 20 minutes in, 3-0 in favor of FlyQuest. A lot of it just coming off of a beautiful CC chain in reaction to the Echo Fox engage.
Exactly. They talked about it a little bit. Lemonation is able to get that polymorph. Singe is one of the, you know, more risky guys to try and do an engage with because you have to actually do the footwork and run straight at them. But honestly, my favorite part about that fight was the crowd control layering that FlyQuest were able to do after that. There was a very good Lulu knockup into Shockwave, into double taunt, and all three of them really combined to take those two players out of the team fight where they just ran them down afterwards.
And if I'm FlyQuest, I'm looking at this gold graph and I'm going, oh, thank God, guys. We got one where it's mostly trending in our favor the entire time. There's kind of a clean, you know, trend, kind of exponential trend in terms of continuing that gold advantage once we got a hold of it, as compared to last game where we saw the first half of the gold graph in Echo Fox's favor and the second half in FlyQuest. So not needing the comeback this time around.
Exactly. And the area where it could have gone in Echo Fox's favor was obviously they're targeting Balls early, and he's on this Shen who's not going to have a lot of control of that top side. Balls back on a tank. You know, you can see he felt more comfortable. Even though he died in that first gank, he doesn't burn a summoner spell. He doesn't really get phased, and they still have good Shen ultimates to the other side of the map. So FlyQuest still, you know, played to their strengths there.
And this time around, player of the game going to alt tech. You know, with the changing landscape of the ADCs, we heard from Sneaky a little bit earlier in terms of loving that Blade of the Rune King change, feeling like he can put it on more champions. It also definitely feels like that field of ADCs, top tier ADCs, has expanded just slightly, but it's fun to see what the different different ADCs now individually are like leaping at, right?
Yeah.
We got the Lucian players, but then we still have Keith on the Ashe utility, right? And then we've got the guys who want to
play
stay.
Ezreal this game.
Exactly,
Woo!
but we've got, it's kind of cool to see now some differentiation between the players themselves.
Yeah, I know a lot of AD carry players are happy about the changes in itemization, the new viability of different champions, but also, importantly in this game, yeah, Altec gets his player of the game. There's a Lulu buffing him up. There's a Shen ultimate coming in on him. A lot of stuff to save him, and I'm sure he appreciated that.
What we saw there at the end, kind of Echo Fox's last-ditch effort in the bot lane to make that, kind of the Rengar leap out of the bush, almost got Altec, and then with, again, as you mentioned, the Lulu wild growth and whatnot, the Shen ult coming in, barely keeping him alive and being able to roll towards the victory. But, ladies and gentlemen, with one more day of games in the books, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. Off the back of their victory today, Cloud9 hold on to second place, while FlyQuest jumps to fifth place with their win today, leaving Team Dignitas in sixth going before their match on Sunday. Now, the race for our last three playoff spots continue with our matches tomorrow. Coverage kicks off with Immortals versus Counterlogic Gaming. Then we have a battle for second place as Cloud9 goes against Phoenix 1. Over on NA LCS 2, Doublelift and Team Liquid faces former teammates on TSM, followed by a match between Echo Fox and Envy. So it's important for me to note there that I misspoke earlier when I said that FlyQuest plays Team Liquid tomorrow. That match will take place on Sunday. Still in control of their own destiny for FlyQuest.
I'm going to let this one slide, Dash.
We just got to wait one more day, that's all. But in terms of the playoff race, and as was mentioned, there's still plenty of scenarios left to be discovered. I guess my question to you would be, within those matches that we've got going on tomorrow, is there a pivotal one that you're looking at, one that might be the most important in terms of determining this playoff picture?
Honestly, the North American LCS, this split has been so close. I don't think there's a single one that I'm going to pick off. Yeah, everybody is excited, especially after the hype video for, Doublelift versus TSM,
right,
and the storylines in there. But I think there are a lot more other super interesting ones as well, especially with, Phoenix 1 on the rise. I want to see how high they can actually climb.
Right, yeah. I mean, regardless of whether or not it actually has playoff implications, when we get to the Cloud9 Phoenix 1 matchup, that's going to be a fun one to really... Because even if, let's pretend C9 ends up remaining in second place just because of this game separation that they have, if Phoenix 1 beats them, a lot of people will be entering playoffs saying it's actually TSM and Phoenix 1 who are the top two teams moving into that playoff picture.
Exactly. Standings going into playoffs is one thing. Performance during the playoffs, that's what actually matters.
Actual power level. Ladies and gentlemen, for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more North American LCS. Good night.